Good morning, students. This is part 2 of chapter 6, that is life processes. In part 1 of chapter 6, we studied about autotrophic nutrition, and in this part, we will learn about heterotrophic nutrition, its types, and then digestion in human being. So, let me start here with heterotrophic nutrition. What is heterotrophic nutrition? As you know, each organism is adapted to its environment, and the form of nutrition differs depending on the type and availability of food material, as well as how it is obtained by the organism. That can be explained by the example. See, whether the food source is stationary means like plant, grass, or mobile, this is deer, rabbit, or another animals that move. So whether the food source is stationary or mobile would allow for differences in how the food is accessed and what is the nutritive apparatus used by a cow and a lion and another animals. So कैसे फूड अवेलेबल होता है और कैसे वो इसे खाते हैं, दोनों ही तरीके पर्सन टू पर्सन, ऑर्गेनिज्म टू ऑर्गेनिज्म डिफरेंट होते हैं. There is a range of strategies by the food is taken in and used by the organism. All the living organisms do not follow same strategy to take in the food and to use it. Some organisms like fungi, yeast, mushrooms, molds, they break down the food material outside the body and then they absorb it. But some another organisms, they take in whole material and then break it down inside their bodies. So see, कुछ organisms body के बाहर ही food को break कर देते हैं और तब उसे absorb करते हैं, और कुछ organisms पूरा का पूरा food अंदर लेते हैं और body के अंदर उसको break down करते हैं और absorb करते हैं. What can be taken in? Broke down depends on the body design and functioning. Yes. Food that is taken it by the organism, how it will be broken down, how it will be digested, that depends upon the body design and functioning of the body. Some other organisms, they derive nutrition from plants or animals without killing them. जैसे कि parasitic nutritive strategy, they are used by a wide variety of organisms like cuscata, orchids, ticks, leeches, tapeworm. These are the animals, they get their nutrition from other animals, but they do not kill them. दूसरे animals को या दूसरे organism को मारते भी नहीं हैं और उसमें से खुद का nutrition ले लेते हैं. So now you see that all the organisms, they do not follow the same method of taking in the food or digesting the food. There are different methods. So heterotrophic nutrition is a mode of nutrition where organisms directly or indirectly depend on autotrophs for their food. And these types of animals or living organisms called heterotrophs. Based on the source of nutrition, heterotrophic mode of nutrition can be divided as follows. Number 1, saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition में the organism obtain nutrients from dead and decaying organic matter, और these organisms are called saprophytes. Saprophytes जो होते हैं वो खुद का न्यूट्रिशन सड़े गले और मरे हुए ऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंस से लेते हैं, जैसे फंगी और ईस्ट. सेकेंड टाइप है पैरासिटिक न्यूट्रिशन. पैरासिटिक न्यूट्रिशन में क्या होता है कि जो ऑर्गेनिज्म है दे लिव वेदर इनसाइड और आउटसाइड द बॉडी ऑफ अनदर ऑर्गेनिज्म and it takes nutrition from the another organism without killing it. These organisms are called parasites, or the best example of parasites are mosquito and ascaris. मॉस्किटो ह्यूमन बॉडी में आउटसाइड बाहर से ब्लड सक करता है और एस्केरिस बॉडी के अंदर रहता है इंटेस्टाइन में एज ए पैरासाइट. सो दीज आर पैरासिटिक एनिमल्स और दे आर नोन एज पैरासाइट्स. And the third one is holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition means when any organism take in the parts of the animal or whole organism as food, and then it is digested to simple substances and absorbed by the cell of the body. पूरा का पूरा खाना अपने मुंह से या कोई भी जो बॉडी में ऑर्गन है खाने को अंदर लेने के लिए वो पूरा का पूरा खाना अंदर ले लेते हैं और बॉडी के अंदर जाके द फूड इज ब्रोकन डाउन इनटू सिंपल सब्सटेंसेस एंड एब्जॉर्ब बाय द बॉडी. एंड इसका बेस्ट एग्जांपल है ह्यूमन बीइंग. सो दीज आर 3 modes of nutrition: saprophytic, parasitic, and holozoic. How do organisms obtain their nutrition? See, since the food and the way it is obtained differ from organism to organism, and the digestive system is also differ in various organisms. So modes are also different in different organisms to take in the food. In single celled organism, जो unicellular substance होते हैं और living organism होते हैं, the food may be taken by the entire surface. पूरा जो बॉडी सरफेस है उसमें से फूड वो अंदर एब्सॉर्ब कर लेते हैं. बट as the complexity of the organism increases, different parts become specialized to perform different functions. Did you get the point? यूनिसेलर ऑर्गेनिजम्स जो खाना अंदर लेते हैं वो उनकी बॉडी में कोई स्पेशल ऑर्गन नहीं है टू टेक इन द फूड. बॉडी से खाना एब्सॉर्ब कर लेते हैं. बट जैसे कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ ऑर्गेनिज्म बढ़ती है, कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ह्यूमन इज द मोर कॉम्प्लेक्स लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. उनकी बॉडी में या एनिमल्स हैं, बर्ड्स हैं, उनकी बॉडी में प्रॉपर ऑर्गन्स होते हैं टू टेक इन द फूड, टू टेक आउट द फूड, टू डाइजेस्ट द फूड. डिफरेंट पार्ट्स, स्पेशल पार्ट्स ऑफ द बॉडी होते हैं, दे परफॉर्म डिफरेंट फंक्शंस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल amoeba, that is a unicellular living organism that takes in the food using temporary finger-like extension to the cell surface which fuse over the food particles forming a food vacuole. Amoeba एक unicellular living organism है that does not have any particular or special body organ to take in the food. बॉडी की सरफेस पर ही जो फिंगर लाइक एक्सटेंशन बनाकर, जैसे सूडोपोडिया हम बोलते हैं, हियर इट इज सूडोपोडिया, वो क्या करता है फूड को एब्जॉर्ब करता है. बॉडी में इटसेल्फ एब्जॉर्प्शन होगा, एसिमिलेशन होगा और एक्स्ट्रा फूड बाहर, उसका एक्स्ट्रा फूड के लिए भी कोई स्पेशल ऑर्गन्स नहीं है अमीबा की बॉडी में. फूड वैक्यूल में फूड अंदर गया, डाइजेस्ट हुआ और बाद में बॉडी पार्ट से रप्चरिंग के बाद एक्स्ट्रा वेस्ट मटेरियल विल कम आउट. Inside the food vacuole, complex substances are broken down into the simpler ones and that diffuses into the cytoplasm. And the remaining undigested material, that is waste material, that is moved to the surface of the cell and then thrown out. So that is the nutrition in amoeba. Amoeba is unicellular organism. Here you can see in the animation how the food is taken in by amoeba. That is pseudopodia. Here, pseudopodia. Food is going in and now it will take in the food. It will cover it and the food will be absorbed in the body. Another living organism, paramecium. Paramecium is also a unicellular organism. The cell has a definite shape. Let me remind you here that amoeba does not have any definite shape. But here, this paramecium has a definite shape and food is taken in at a specific spot. अमीबा में कोई स्पेसिफिक स्पॉट नहीं है, वो पूरी बॉडी में कहीं से भी फिंगर लाइक प्रोजेक्शन बनाएगा और फूड को अंदर लेकर एब्जॉर्ब करेगा. Food is moved to the spot by the movement of cilia which cover the entire surface of the cell. These are the cilia. ये जो आप देख रहे हैं, these are the cilia at the body of paramecium. Okay. Now, nutrition in human being, very important topic in this chapter. And the nutrition in human being can be asked as a long question in board exam also. So I have tried to explain nutrition in human being by putting enough theory and proper diagrams and animation so that you can understand the process stepwise. After that, you can write the process in your own words, in your own steps. At the end of this nutrition in human being, I have kept one slide in which you will get all the 5 steps of nutrition in human being. So let me start nutrition in human being. See, the alimentary canal is basically a long tube extending from the mouth to the anus. It starts from here, okay, and from here to the end point is here. So the alimentary canal starts from mouth and end at anus. From here, entry to exit. We will read all the steps of nutrition in human being. In figure, we can see that the tube has different parts, various reasons, and they are specialized to perform different functions. Mouth है, mouth में salivary glands, then esophagus, stomach, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, small intestine, large intestine, appendix, rectum, and anus. These all are the different parts of digestive system in human being, and all the parts have their own special work to do. Now, what happens to the food when it enters our body? So we will discuss this process one by one in steps. So let me start it with the mouth. We eat various types of food which has to pass through the same digestive tract. चाहे आप समोसा खाइए, भाकरी खाइए, आइसक्रीम खाइए, you have only one digestive tract. आपकी बॉडी में एक ही digestive tract है, and naturally the food has to be processed to generate particles which are small and of the same texture. मुंह में जाने के बाद फूड स्मॉल पार्टिकल्स में टूट जाएगा और इट विल बिकम सॉफ्ट. कोई भी फूड आप खा लें वो सॉफ्ट हो जाएगा एंड देन ओनली इट विल गो टू योर डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम और डाइजेस्टिव ट्रैक. तो ये कैसे पॉसिबल होता है? दिस इज अचीव्ड बाय क्रशिंग द फूड. सी द फर्स्ट स्टेप, क्रशिंग द फूड with our teeth, and since the lining of the canal is soft, the food is also wetted to make its passage smooth. खाने को चबाने के बाद सॉफ्ट होना पड़ता है, छोटे पीसेस में तोड़ना पड़ता है. सॉफ्ट कैसे होगा? सी whenever we eat something, our mouth waters. जो पानी मुंह में आता है वो क्या है? Actually that is not the water, but that is a fluid called saliva, and that is secreted by salivary glands in our mouth. So this was the first step. When we eat the food in our mouth, it is crushed with our teeth and then it is softened by making saliva that is secreted by salivary glands. Now another aspect of the food we ingest is its complex nature. If it is to be absorbed from alimentary canal, it has to be broken down into simpler molecules. It is necessary. Otherwise, how we will take it inside our body? So foods को smaller molecules में तोड़ लेना है. कैसे possible है? This is done with the help of biological catalyst. They are called enzymes. The saliva also contains an enzyme that is called salivary amylase, and that breaks down the starch, which is a complex molecule, to give sugar. The first thing, Saliva contains an enzyme that is called salivary amylase and that breaks down the starch. This question can be asked in 1 mark. Starch is broken down by saliva. The food is mixed thoroughly with saliva and moved around the mouth while chewing by the muscular tongue. हमारे मुंह के अंदर muscular tongue होती है. With the help of that tongue and with the help of the saliva, the food is becomes softened. We chew it. पूरे मुंह में food घूमता है और soft हो जाता है. एक जैसा food हो जाता है पूरा. See here you can see the animation. I think that will be helpful to explain how the food goes inside the digestive tract after softening. Slowly it is going down. And here you can see the pharynx, how they are adjusting when food is entering the food pipe. Very good animation to explain this process. Okay, so now let me move to the next slide. It is necessary to move the food in a regulated manner along the digestive tube so that it can be processed properly in each part. The lining of the canal has muscles that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward, and the peristaltic movement occur all along the gut. What is this peristaltic movement? Let me explain you this peristaltic movement with the help of this animation. Peristaltic movement means a rhythmically movement by which the food is pushed forward to the stomach. This is peristaltic movement. If you can see the muscles जो है food को आगे push करते हैं और ये एक rhythm में होता है. ऐसा नहीं कि ज़्यादा push कर दिया या कम push हो गया. See यहाँ से ये muscles food को push कर रहे हैं and you can see how it is going to the stomach. So that is peristaltic movement. Now from the mouth the food is taken to the stomach and this is taken through the food pipe or esophagus, and the stomach is a large organ that expands when food enters it. आप कितना भी खाना खा लो stomach में जाएगा और stomach expand होता चला जाएगा. The muscular walls of the stomach help in mixing the food thoroughly with more digestive juices. Stomach के अंदर भी stomach की जो wall होती है उसमें से digestive juice release होते हैं. And these digestion functions are taken care by the gastric gland present in the wall of the stomach. जो gastric gland हैं present in the wall of the stomach, they release hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric क्या करता है? एक एंजाइम है that is pepsin, जो प्रोटीन डाइजेस्टिंग एंजाइम है उसको ये एक्टिव कर देता है. इन एब्सेंस ऑफ हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड पेप्सिन एक्टिव नहीं होगा और प्रोटीन डाइजेस्ट नहीं होगा. So these gastric glands present in the wall of the stomach, they release digestive juices, they release hydrochloric acid, and that is a protein digesting enzyme called pepsin. Pepsin को एक्टिव करने के लिए हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड का रिलीज होना बहुत जरूरी है. और द अनदर वन इज म्यूकस. म्यूकस क्या करता है? एसिड के एसिडिक इफेक्ट से स्टोमक की जो अंदर की लाइनिंग है उसको बचाता है. The hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium which facilitates the action of the enzyme pepsin. The mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of the acid under normal conditions. Acid हमारे stomach की अंदर की wall को कोई नुकसान ना करे उससे mucus protect करता है. See, we have often heard adults complaining about acidity. What is this acidity? Actually, acidity has to do nothing with this digestive system question, but here when I am introducing hydrochloric acid in the stomach, so I think I should explain this acidity. Acidity means when HCl or hydrochloric acid is produced excessively. in the stomach and it causes heartburn or sometimes acid reflux. So then we say कि I am suffering from acidity and I am feeling something burning sensation in my food tract or in stomach or sometime in chest. So that is acidity. It happens due to the excess production of HCl or stress or spicy food. So that is acidity. Stomach में acid होता है but that should be under control, otherwise we feel acidity. Okay. Now stomach तक पहुंचे थे. Stomach से food क्या होगा? The exit of the food from the stomach is regulated by a sphincter muscle that is released in small amounts into the small intestine. मुंह से खाना कहाँ गया? फूड पाइप में. फूड पाइप से स्टोमक में. अब स्टोमक से कहाँ जाएगा? स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में. तो जब खाना स्टोमक से स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में जाता है तो वहां पर एक सॉफ्ट मसल स्ट्रक्चर होता है, स्पिंचर मसल्स और ड्यूडेनम. यहां से खाना, सी यू कैन सी स्टोमक से खाना स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में जा रहा है. फ्रॉम द स्टोमक द फूड नाउ एंटर्स द स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन and you know the name is small intestine but this is the longest part of the alimentary canal that is fitted into a compact space because of extensive coiling. ऐसे coiling के फॉर्म में रहता है तो हमको छोटी सी जगह में एडजस्ट हो जाता है, but actually that is the longest part. And the length of the small intestine differs in various animals depending on the food they eat. जो हर्बीवोरस होते हैं they eat grass और उनका स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन लंबा होता है. क्यों? बिकॉज दे हैव टू डाइजेस्ट द सेलुलोज प्रेजेंट इन द ग्रीन फूड. तो उनका स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन बड़ा होता है. वाइल जो मीट ईटर्स होते हैं जैसे कि लायन, टाइगर, उनका स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन शॉर्ट होता है. क्यों? कि जो मीट का प्रोटीन है वो जल्दी कम टाइम में डाइजेस्ट कर लेते हैं, बट सेलुलोज टेक मोर टाइम टू बी डाइजेस्टेड. And you know what is the length of small intestine in human being? It is about 6 meters or 20 feet long. और जो large intestine है that is about 1.5 meter or 5 feet long. Okay. So we learned that from the stomach with the help of a sphincter muscle the food will go to small intestine. Now the small intestine in the site of complete digestion of carbohydrate, proteins और fats यहाँ पर complete digest हो जाएंगे. That receive the secretion of the liver and pancreas for this purpose. The food coming from the stomach is acidic. क्यों? क्योंकि वहां पर उसमें HCl मिल गया था. And has to be made alkaline for the pancreatic enzymes to act. Bile juice from the liver accomplishes this in addition to acting on fats. जो स्टोमक से फूड आया था वो एसिडिक था. क्यों? HCl उसमें मिला हुआ था. नाउ अब फूड स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में है और वहां पर पैनक्रियाटिक एंजाइम्स उसमें मिल जाएंगे और एक्ट करेंगे. बट पैनक्रियाटिक एंजाइम को एक्ट करने के लिए नेसेसरी है कि हमारा मीडियम हमारे खाने का मीडियम एल्केलाइन हो. तो वो क्या करता है? जो बाइल जूस है लीवर से सीक्रेट होता है और उसको एल्केलाइन बनाता है. Here you can see the animation is shown how bile is released from liver. Okay. Fats are present in intestine in the form of large globules which make it difficult for enzymes to act on them. So bile salt that breaks down into the smaller globules and that increases the efficiency of enzyme action. That is the function of bile. Bile क्या करता है? फैट्स को छोटे छोटे पीसेस में ब्रेक कर देता है. क्यों? जिससे कि उस पर एफिशिएंटली एक्शन हो सके एंजाइम्स का इन स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन. और ये जो एक्शन है इट इज वेरी मच सिमिलर टू द एमल्सिफाइंग एक्शन that is in the chapter 4 when we will learn soap. At that time we will learn this emulsifying action. The pancreas secretes pancreatic juice that contains enzymes like trypsin and lipase. Trypsin क्या करता है? प्रोटीन को डाइजेस्ट करता है और लिपेज क्या करता है? breaking down the emulsified fats. All these questions can be asked in 1 mark. Bile क्या करता है? Bile कहाँ से रिलीज होता है? What does trypsin do? What does lipase do? और प्रोटीन को क्या डाइजेस्ट करता है? एमल्सिफाइड फैट्स को क्या डाइजेस्ट करता है? दैट कैन बी आस्क्ड इन 1 mark. The wall of the small intestine contain glands which secrete intestinal juice. The enzymes present in it finally convert the protein to amino acids, carbohydrates to glucose, and fats to fatty acid and glycerol. हमारे खाने में मेनली ये जो चीजें होती हैं लास्ट में with the help of enzyme, you saw प्रोटीन किस में कन्वर्ट हो गया? एमिनो एसिड्स में, कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स ग्लूकोज में, और फैटी एसिड या ग्लिसरॉल में. फाइन. The digested food is taken up by the wall of the intestine. The inner lining of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections. They are called villi. That increases the surface area of absorption. Here you can see that if you see here the diagram of the villi present in small intestine, so what do you notice? The surface area of the small intestine is increased क्योंकि वो coil form में होते हैं. So the presence of this villi increases the surface area. Here you can see this type of structure ये, or this is the magnified structure of this portion, this one. So the villi are richly supplied with blood vessels which take the absorbed food to each and every cell of the body, where it is utilized for obtaining energy, building up new tissues, and repair of old tissues. Here you can see the villi, they are having rich blood supplies here. This and this one. Okay. And now the absorbed food is sent into the large intestine, where more villi absorbed from this material, and rest of the material is removed from the body via the anus, and the exit of this waste material is regulated by the anal sphincter. Okay, in animation you can see it clearly how the food is from small intestine to large, and then see it is coming out from the body. So this was digestion in human being. It starts from mouth, and see, you can see here teeth are chewing, going down, and then stomach, pancreas, and then small intestine, large intestine, and then it is coming down. Okay, so digestion of food is completed. The whole process is also completed. Here in one slide, I am providing you 5 steps of digestion in human being that you can use as an answer in short. In short means the answer will be in detail, but I have explained it into so many slides. Here in one slide you will get the answer of digestion of food in human being one by one. The first one is ingestion of food. खाना मुंह से लिया जाता है. Then digestion of food, then absorption of food, then assimilation of food, and then excretion of food. So in this session we learned nutrition. There are 2 types of nutrition, autotrophic and heterotrophic. The best example of autotrophic, green plants, and heterotrophic, there are 3 types: saprophytic, parasitic, and holozoic. Saprophytic means the example yeast or fungi. They take their nutrition from dead and decay material. Parasitic, they take their nutrition from another animal that is not decay, that is not dead, and they don't even kill them. And holozoic means they take in whole substance as a food. पूरा का पूरा खाना अंदर ले लेते हैं बॉडी के, एंड देन इनसाइड द बॉडी द फूड इज broken down. So thank you students. This was part 2 of chapter 6. I tried to explain this biology matter with proper amount of theory and proper animation so you can understand the concept clearly. Thank you students. Now we will meet in part 3 of this chapter, life processes. I would like if you go through this presentation once more so you can understand the process of digestion in human being clearly, and you can write it in your own words stepwise. Thank you students.